Good morning, guys, and welcome back to the campaign. I hope that you've all been having a really great week so far. Um, so, just whilst we talk and I wait for a few extra people to come in, I'm just checking to see a couple of things on if it's possible to choose a different camera, but I don't seem to be able to. So, I'm not going to press anything in case I screw it up like I did last week. Good evening, Luke. Glad to have you with us. Hope you've had a good week so far. Everything in New Zealand has actually been pretty good this week. Mostly sun, with the odd scattering of rain. But hey, it's New Zealand. If you don't have a bit of rain each day, it's not really New Zealand. Overall, a good week. So yeah, hope you've had a good one yourself. Not sure if Bloodgang's going to be able to make it or whether he's going to be working, but we'll give him a few moments before we sort of really dive into the action of this turn. Let me just pull up the spreadsheet so I can see exactly what we are dealing with after all the points have been spent as well. And then we'll get into the recap. I've got quite a lot of tabs up, so everything's running a little bit slow at the moment. There we go. Cool. So let's do a recap from last turn off the top of my head. What happened? So down in the south, the Durotriges territory, we had the Romans coming across the border. The Durotriges unfortunately had a random event that prohibited them from being able to withdraw, so they stood their ground to try and repel the invaders. Um, and so, yeah, it was kind of a foregone conclusion. They were heavily outnumbered, and the Romans just bowled over them and are now besieging Lindinis, the capital. Um, the Cantiasi allies haven't actually been attacked yet by the Durotriges, so they've just stopped short. In Iceni, the Romans moved up to sort of screen the city whilst the Britons had withdrawn into their capital. Um, and so there wasn't really much action that occurred over there. Shame if he misses almost the moment. I know, hopefully he'll be here. And in Caterpillani itself, the warband under Caractacus decided they were going to head north into the Coriel Talby territory. It was a bit of a roll of the dice, quite literally. It could have worked if the dice gods had gone for them. Obviously, they didn't sacrifice enough. But if it had worked, they would have probably brought the Coral Kalavi in on their alliance. As it is, it backfired and now turned them hostile. So with that, the forces under Caradicus quickly turned around, came back down. The Trinovantes, who had been sent as a blocking force to hold them off, got destroyed. And so now you've got Caradicus and his forces bearing down on their own capital, which currently has the Romans in it. However, the Coriel Talby forces are also starting to mass around Linden, which is their capital, the red one in the center. And I think that's pretty well it as far as the sort of the combat movement was concerned. The Humoni and the Devuni also became allies of Rome. So Romans have started to build quite a network of alliances now, as the Britons are starting to suffer a few setbacks. But yeah, that's pretty well it for the recap. Unless I've missed anything, Luke, but yeah, let me know if I have. So what we'll do is we'll maybe start with some of the basic things, uh, weather, initiative, etc., and then we can hopefully have Bloodgang along by the time we get to the movement and that sort of thing. Otherwise, it'll just be down to the orders as given by the people on YouTube. So what are we doing first? Tracking the months slash years. So last turn, if I remember rightly, took us through February. No, it might now. Took us through to May of 46. So how far forwards do we go this time? 4 months. So we're now in September. September of 846. probably one of the later months of campaigning, and they're about to start heading into the winter anyway, where they're going to start getting the hot in. So kind of sums up the campaign, which is quite good. Anyway, who knows? We may have more turns, we may not. This is going to be a decisive turn either way. Looks about right. Your sound is a bit crackly. A little bit crackly. Is it better when I'm kind of looking in this direction, like I am now, or is it better when I look in this direction? Uh, yeah, I mean, yeah. Hopefully that's a bit better if I look at the camera when I do the talking. So maybe that is any better, or maybe it's just my voice. Okay, so that's our weather. Cool. I think what I might need to invest in is one of those little microphones that goes on your collar, and maybe that might sort of rather than relying on the camera itself. Anyway, we do what we can. um, second, what is this? Uh, no, it doesn't make a difference. I thought there was a way of using a different microphone. I could maybe use the microphone from the computer instead of but I think that's at a different stage. Mm, no. Okay. I won't mess around with it now. As long as you can kind of hear me, just try and bring it a bit lower, a bit closer to me. Mm, 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 mm. Is that any better now that you're a bit closer to me? A bit less muffled, hopefully. Anyway, I'll crack on. Hopefully you can kind of understand what's happening as we go. So next up, we've got roll for initiative, and yeah, odd bit disappears. Okay, so okay, sounds like it's a bit better that it's closer. So we'll stick with this for now. So as for our commanders, who has the highest rank within the Romans? So we've got a 5, and Caraticus is the highest in the Britons, and he is currently on 4. So the Romans are going to have +1 initiative modifier. So we'll go Romans in red, like usual, Britons in blue, and we'll do it +1 to the red dice. Cool. So the Romans get the initiative. They roll a 6 versus a 3. So even without their bonus, it's still a Roman initiative. Sorry, Luke. Next up, we've got the weather. And okay. All right. So I am back and it seems to be working now. Let me just message Luke on the Discord. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with everything today, but let's see. Try now. Cool. So hopefully he'll be able to get back in. Those of you that just dropped out, you can give me a thumbs up or something. Just let me know that you're back. That would be good. But I believe we're sorted. I'm not sure what the issue was, but hopefully it's all sorted anyway. So where were we? We had the Romans who had just won the initiative. Cool. So that's going to give them 2 units to be able to move first. Ah, cool. You're back. Awesome. And is the sound okay now, or is it a bit knackered still? Maybe it was something all tied up together with the connectivity. But hopefully everything goes smoothly now. So yeah, weather was the next one, and we just rolled a 54. And it's September, and 54 is clear sky still. Okay, so clear. back. You died at the weather roll. Found is now. Okay, cool. Perfect. So sound is perfect. Awesome. I rolled a 54, which gives us clear skies. So everything seems to be moving in the right direction at last. And I was going to check, but I'm pretty sure we've had clear skies. Clear sky, clear, 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 clear. Okay, all the way back till turn 4. So for the last 6 turns, basically it's been clear skies. Turn 4 we had fog. Turn 3 we had fog. Turn 2 was heavy rain, and turn 1 was clear. So it's been a very good weather campaign, this one. It's quite interesting. Cool. Historical events. There is nothing this turn. The historical events went up to turn 9. Historically, that was AD 51, where Caractacus was captured. I guess if we were doing a narrative-based thing, we could have said last turn he got captured by the Corotalvi, and it could have tied in that way. But we're playing as a war game, so history has changed. But because of that, yeah, there's no further effects for us to worry about. However, there may be some randoms. So for the Romans, 1. And 1 is Fortitudo Legionis. The discipline of the legions holds firm under pressure. 1 Roman unit gains +5 cohesion. So 1, and that's 1 unit +5 cohesion. Cool, that could tell in the battle. All that nice clear weather in Britain. I know, unheard of. But then again, maybe it was better weather back in that sort of ancient period than it is today. Who knows? But then again, at the moment, I think Britain's got like a heat wave again, if I remember hearing that in the news. So who knows? And now for the Britons, a 12. And 12 is flanking ambush. Briton warriors use their knowledge of the terrain. In one battle this turn, 1 or 2 Briton units may arrive as reinforcements on the Roman flank. So that will be very useful for the Britons. Flanking, what was it? Flanking ambush. But will it be too little too late? That's the question. It's cold, grey, and wet here. Blimey. What month are we in? We're in September now. I guess it's heading towards autumn. Yeah. Unlucky. What's next? We've got our movement. Cool. So let me just switch over. Hopefully it doesn't all freeze up again. But I'm going to switch over to see what the voting was on the YouTube. On the YouTube polls. So just bear with me a second whilst I find those posts. There we go. Cool. So seeing as the Romans have got the initiative, let's see them first. So option 1 with 47% was Western forces to besiege the Durotriges capital. So put it under siege. Cool. That's simple. They're already there. So that's done, basically. Iceni forces to besiege the Iceni capital. Cool. That's quite straightforward. And Romans in Cadovalani to engage the enemy army and end the war. So they need to march out and engage. As for the Britons, it was very close actually. 31% being the winning number is option 2, and that is Caractacus to attack the Romans at his capital. Cool. And the allied Britons to defend their own capitals, hold their capitals. Cool. So we've got a siege there, we've got a siege there, and we've got a battle there. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. Not too bad at all. Cool. Let's jump back to where we are. Cool. Great. For some reason, we are to march away from our capital and march to aid Iceni. No, I think there may have been some extra votes. Oh, unless I just read that wrong. Option 2, 31%. Caradicus to attack the Romans at his capital, and Britons to defend and hold their capitals. So yeah, I think there must have been some late votes or something there, Luke. Yeah. Yeah, right at the last second. So yeah, this is going to be a battle here, which is probably quite. It's going to be the decider, one way or the other. Siege and siege. So let's roll our dice to see how long the siege will last for. I'm pretty sure I wrote something down in here. Where are we? Surround. D6 turns. Cool. So this town here will last, if they aren't able to break the siege, 4 turns. Let me write that down. Lindinis. 4 turns. Till surrender. And Venter can last 6 turns. Cool. They're obviously well supplied and well stocked. 6 turns. So they'll both outlive the campaign unless the Romans wished to assault. So that's good news for the Britons, I guess. It means that those 2 territories will remain in Britain hands for whatever time we have left. Up here, yeah, we've got the battle. So let me write that down. We've got Romans versus Caradicus in Catu Valania. Cool. And I think that's it for those sort of options. Let me just double check I haven't missed anything. Let me just look through what your orders were or suggestions, Luke. I think I'll go suggestions. Cool. Yep. So we used your points to boost the garrison there anyway, so they are now nice and strong again. And we've given him the reinforcements, so people from the surrounding towns, maybe some people from the capital who had fled from the Romans, and they've swelled their numbers. So that's all done for you. Cool. And let me just check that I've done everything that Bloodgang wanted. Done that. Allied tribes. Final threat. Ah, yes. Okay, there was one extra thing which he has done, which I'd forgotten about. Sailing across the channel, a new legion has arrived. And they've arrived at Roman landing A. So let me roll to see how far they can go. What is it? It's D10 plus 2. Cool. So 9, 10, 11. So they can go 11. And he wanted them to head in this direction to assist over here. So they basically make it the whole way. Cool. So maybe if the game continues another time, I mean, I would say if Caradicus loses, it's pretty well game over. If he wins, then we may go to another turn because they may wish to siege and take the town. But as it is, cool. It's got some reinforcements there, and also we got 5 plus 4 is 9. So 9. So they can go 9. He's got another group of brigantines or brigantes sailing down the coast. Cool. But they haven't got quite far enough this turn. And so that... Bloodgang, you've arrived. Well done. So, just to give you an update on what's happened. Romans, you got the initiative. You are besieging Lindinis. Your reinforcements have arrived and managed to march all the way over. So you've got a complete overwhelming majority there. Your legion in the Iceni territory is now besieging their capital. And the Britons and Romans' orders were to advance and engage each other in combat. So we've got a battle there and 2 sieges. I think that was it. As for the... Britons also have 1 unit of heavy infantry as a reinforcement. So, Luke, let me know where you want them to be based. And random events for the Romans. One of the Roman units will gain additional cohesion of +5. and the Britons will be able to have some flanking ambush during one of their battles. And why is there a blue tribe in Artrabates? They are the Cantiasi, so they're your allies. They just weren't able to cross the border because they hadn't actually been attacked yet, but they went as far as they could. So yeah, they're not enemy, don't worry. Cool. Did you just message? Nope, someone else just messaged me. Cool. Where are we? I've lost my screen. There we go. Cool. Okay, last time was a red marker. Oh, I can put a red one there if you want. What I've done is I've kind of, yeah, it's probably a good move actually, because blue tends to be the, whoever they are, the Britons. Maybe it's because I don't have a red one available. There's so many different pieces. Where are they all? Ah, there we go. We got a red. Cool. There we go. Make it more simple. So the red might have got confusing with Roman unit then. Yeah, that's all good, don't worry. So there you go. There your Cantiasi allies. You've got the remnants of Marcus and Sabinus, who are basically one now because I think it was Sabinus suffered heavy casualties. And then you've got the new legion. I can't remember what I called their commander, Varus or something like that. Up here, we've got the main battle for this turn though. So should be a good turn. And we rolled also for the besieging, like the sieges themselves. And so in Lindinis, it's going to last 4 turns before they surrender. So unless next turn you decide to to assault, then the siege will just continue. And same Venter, they rolled a 6, so that's going to last 6 turns. Field promotions abound in the Britain field. I know they've lost a lot of leaders, actually, the Britons. Yeah, I think really we're just down to the originals. I think the Iceni have their commander still, and I think Caraticus, I think they're the only 2 which are the originals. It's been a bloodbath. But yeah, that's it for this turn. So I have one good pitched battle, which could make or break the campaign one way or the other. So unless you guys have any other questions, if you do, just let me know now. As usual, if you have any sneaky things you want to do, just let me know on... Oh, actually, no, there's one more thing. I forgot. Where is the diplomacy at? So having spent the points, as it stands now, let's go and look. For the Britons, Cadavolani, whilst Caraticus is still alive, and his army is still in one piece, it is still Britain. The Siluris are still strongly Britain. The Ordovices are moving away from the alliance. They're still allied to the Britons, but they've shifted slightly. The Durotriges are still part of the alliance, and the Iceni are still part of the alliance. With the Romans, you have the Brigantes in the north. You have the Cornovi, who turned this turn. So we're starting to get a bit of a collection of allies. The Corieltalvi, they are allies. The Debuni are now allies. The Dumoni, the Trinovantes, the Cantiasi, and obviously the Artrabates were wiped out, so they're nothing to do with it. But yeah, it's been quite a big swing now as far as the different tribal regions in favor of Rome. So yeah, definitely shifting in the last couple of turns. Yeah, I know your orders. We just went through those a few seconds ago, just before you actually joined us. So yes, all good on that front. Cool. But yeah, I think that pretty well sums us up for this turn. And yeah, I'm looking forward to finding out what happens here for sure. So cool. I will call it a day here because I've actually got to go and strip a wall of wallpaper. Fun. But yeah, I will catch up with you guys on Discord and also next week on our possibly final live, depending on the outcome. But next week's live chat as we can talk about what's happened and what we're doing next. Anyway, What's that? What is the unit at London? Oh, yeah, that's just a Roman garrison. I think it was just like a heavy infantry unit or something like that. Cool. Yep. Glad you joined us. But yeah, that's all they are. Just a heavy garrison unit. Back when the Trinovantes were a bit wavering as to whether they were going to stay or not, so they were garrisoned. Cool. Anyway, I hope you all have a very good rest of your week and good weekend. And hopefully the weather gets better for you over in the UK when I send them heads. Anyway, yep. Thanks, guys. And I will see you next week. Have a good weekend.